We're here to talk to Chef Melvin Boots Johnson about how he survived the pandemic, his food, and his life. Hey, my brother, what's up?
How you doing?
All right. Good to see you.
Come
Thanks
on
for
in.
having us, man.
Come on in.
All right.
Scoobity Bop, watch the bomb explode.
The bomb explode.
Riding for my bro, so I put a show.
I put a show.
Grabbing the mic to speak about our dreams.
Our
'Cause
dreams,
this is
yeah.
how we roll.
How we roll. I'm waking up. I rise from where I start. Hey, I get around.
Chef Melvin Boots Johnson was born and raised in Compton, California. He was different from the other kids in his hood. His parents owned a popular fried fish spot, and this is where he acquired his love for cooking.
It's a revelation and inspiration. Yeah.
Scoobity Bop, watch the bomb explode.
The bomb explode.
Riding for my bro, so I put a show.
I put a show.
Grabbing the mic to speak about our dreams. 'Cause this is how we roll.
How we roll.
Yo, it's as if I was on crack. This dope called rap. While some of you guys use it, I'm here to distribute it. Don't test me. I'm breaking bad material. Yo, gangster to engage. I'm here to give the dose.
So we met. Now, I thought the first time I met you, because my brain was at Sylvia's,
Yeah, right,
doing the
right.
event for Whoopi Goldberg.
Exactly.
For the,
no, we met before that. Because I would used to come to your spot,
Right.
come to Blue Jean,
Right.
hang out at the bar after I already cooked brunch over at Melva's. I would hang out, and I had you had this one drink it was whiskey,
Yes, yes.
honey, and lime that I was
Yes.
hooked on.
Yes.
And I think
I remember-
I might make it for you later on.
Right.
But that was like my drink. I would come
Yeah.
and you were my wind down spot.
Right, that's right.
Remember that?
Yes. That's hot, man. That brunch was off the hook too.
That brunch was crazy.
Brunch was crazy. Yeah, it was nice.
And that was funny because I was like I just got to Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
I was like I wasn't even here a year yet, and
From LA?
from LA, Compton, and then I was hanging out at your spot, and all the ladies was coming through, everybody, and
Yes.
was going on. Everybody sitting at brunch, everyone's dancing and stuff. I'm like,
Right.
what the hell's going on here
Right.
in Harlem? Because we don't do that in LA. It was like they have regular old brunches and stuff, but
Right.
but having a DJ at your brunch and then there's the food's going on, everyone's dancing. Yeah, it was a good time.
People used to stop and sing at that brunch, man. They hear a song come on, and I remember one time, man, we had a table of, I think it was like 8 or 10 ladies, right? And a New Edition song came on, and they sang the whole song.
Right.
And the rest of the restaurant listened, because they were good.
That was the thing too. When I first came to Harlem, I was going to a restaurant called Solomon and Cups. I went there.
Yes.
I stumbled in there because I was doing a tasting for Melba, and so a buddy of mine flew into town from Cali. So we were like hanging out. I was actually shopping at that ferry market, and so we went, Solomon and Cups. So we went in there, and it was like there's like, hey dude, ain't nothing but women in here. I'm like, where are the guys? It's like for a brunch, it was all women in there. And the funny thing is, it's a great, hilarious story. So we go there, and Solomon Cup was a rum bar, right?
Right.
So we get there, and so me and my boy, we sit at the bar. We had our bags from Ferry Market, and we're sitting there. We order some drinks, and the girl comes and she gives us like in a coupe glass and a little champagne. Like, hey, dude, we're men. You can't free drinks for us with all these women in here.
We're men.
So we're men. Can you put that in a highball glass or something?
Right. Now before you came to Harlem, there is a whole Chef Boots Melvin Johnson story, right? So I want to hear a little bit about that, starting with Boots. What's up with Boots?
What's up, Boots? All right, so Boots is my nickname.
Okay.
My mother named me Boots. She said I was 2 years old, and she would put me to bed. So I had these boots and stuff on, so she'd take the boots off. But in the morning, I had boots back on. So it just came with this thing. So she started calling me Boots. This is
Right.
my family name.
Right.
Like since I was 2.
Okay.
And I lost my mother to cancer about this year. It'd be 22 years. And she was 49 when she passed away from ovarian cancer. She knew that I wanted to be a chef.
Right.
She said I said I wanted to be a chef when I was in 6th grade when she knew it. And Luckily, I opened my first restaurant when I was 29, and she was still alive. So I lost her when I was 30. And
So she had a chance to have your food in a
she had a
professional
chance to
environment.
see
Right.
Me talking about it all my life and actually doing it. And believe me, I wasn't a quarter the chef that I am now, but my mother was able to see what I do, and so now I specialize in selling food because that's what I was raised on.
Scoobity bop, watch the bomb explode.
The bomb
Riding for
explode.
my bro, so I put a show.
I put a show.
Grabbing the mic to speak about our dreams.
Our
'Cause
dreams,
this is
yeah.
how we roll.
How we roll.
Tell me a little bit about that route of saying, I want to be a chef, yet I don't have any chef influences, right?
Or money.
Or money, right? So how do you do that? What are some of the things that you had to overcome in order, to learn how to do this and to get to where you are now?
So let's go back. We've been in. My dad opened up his barbecue restaurant. He didn't know anything about restaurant. My dad he delivered bread from Weber's bread truck, and he sold drugs out of it at the same time. So a little weed here and there with Will. But he barbecued it at the house. And so then he would go to this man called Mr. Jimmy. He had a barbecue restaurant in LA. And his thing was, you don't need no teeth to eat my meat. That was his thing. He was a Memphis barbecue guy.
Right.
And we would sit. I would go there. The guys would be playing dominoes. Dudes drinking Hennessy, and I'm sitting there just watching, tending the fire. And I'm like, there's something to this.
Yes.
It's our culture. Your grandmothers and stuff, they sit there and they're always doing everything by hand. How many times have you torn open a brown paper bag and sat on the floor at your grandmother's feet, shucking black-eyed peas?
Shaking fried chicken in the bag.
Try fried chicken in the bag.
Shake this
Park.
up. Yeah.
Park. I went to family reunions in New Orleans. Here's my Gemini tangent. Went to family reunion in New Orleans. They had the barrel out there and they're shaking chicken in the bag. My mother did the same thing. She would shake her chicken in a bag. So me, I'm like, there's something about this. There's and it's good. It makes you feel good. It's
Right.
nostalgic for you. Okay. We didn't go to like fancy restaurants. We went to that dude up the street. Went to Mr. Jimmy's. Went to this other little spot over here. We didn't go to like a fancy restaurant. You went to a restaurant. You was at Denny's in the hood.
So
at the best bar, you was at a Bennigan or something like that. So we didn't go to like these fancy restaurants.
Right.
So how I identify food with the restaurants, it's that ma and pa type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that fancy white tablecloth. I had to learn that.
Right. So what you're also saying too, though, is that food culture was instilled in you at a very young age.
Very young age.
And it comes out later in life after you learn all these professional techniques and stuff like that.
Correct.
And that, I think, is what is so awesome about black food, right? Is
And that's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To interrupt you, but so I went and learned all those things, but now I'm back to doing that natural grandma. Like I said, I tell my people I cook like a 60-year-old black woman. You can't critique my food if you're 60 plus and a black female.
right.
Because this is a food that is in their pores.
Right.
Let's get real now. Soul food, Southern food is not. It's fancy now because white folks have done it. Right now, I'm reclaiming my food. There's too many white boys in Brooklyn doing shrimp and grits. They have no idea what it means, where it came from. Our culture, cuisine was looked down upon, saying that was fatty.
Right. Like mac and cheese could possibly be fattier than Alfredo sauce.
Exactly. But you look at the true Southern diet, it wasn't like protein. They didn't have any money. They got
Right.
they had a piece of salt pork. Your grandma had a piece of salt pork, and she used that for 2 weeks.
That's right.
She got a little piece of it all, season that. A piece of it all, season that.
That's right. That's right.
And it was beans. It was greens. It wasn't a whole lot of meat because they didn't have any money.
Right.
So if you look at the true Southern diet, it's very, very healthy because we were slaves.
Everything around is idolized. I don't ever want to be patronized by the things that decided for me, by the things I didn't ever want to see.
Scoobity-bop, watch the bombs.
So I know it must be scary expanding Harlem Biscuit Company under, in a pandemic, right? And I know you started the business in the pandemic. There was quite a pivot in the first place, and you've been very successful, and now you're expanding. Tell me a little bit about.
So the birth of Harlem Biscuit Company was this. Last March, at the beginning of the pandemic, I just opened up a restaurant for Kevin Johnson in Sacramento. I came home and we were on lockdown, and we were here in New Rochelle. This was like epicenter for here in New York. So we're on lockdown. We're in the house, for at least 2 months. Didn't leave. Didn't do anything. Went to the grocery store. Everyone was here. Kids were in here. But I didn't have any money. I got denied from unemployment. They said I had to be looking for work. So every time I put a claim in, it got denied. So I said I had no money. And luckily, my woman was still working. She's a fashion. She was still working, but I still got to contribute somehow. And I was watching all these guys doing all these world kitchen stuff and giving back to the hospitals and all that stuff. I'm like, us chefs, we like to give back. We're all about community, right? So all right, well, I have an urgent care around the corner. I'm like, I'm gonna cook for the urgent care around the corner. So I went on my little next door app. I started saying, hey, did you know that the Chopped Grill Master Champion lives in your neighborhood?
Oh,
That's exactly how I did.
all right.
And everybody was like, oh, yeah, we saw you. I'm cooking on Friday. Doing fried chicken and biscuits.
Nice.
Mac and cheese, collard green. Just stuff that night.
Right.
And dude, I'm telling you, people were so excited not to be cooking a day. So I just I put it on the local elementary school's website. I put it on Next Door app. We're part of Jack and Jill, so we did Jack and Jill.
Know them well, yeah.
And so, boom. So the first time I did it, I had my son here. He was delivering. We're going to deliver. Man, it got so crazy. I started doing every week, just Friday. Put my menu up on Tuesday. I get email Venmo payments on the menus, and I would have 30 orders of chicken going out.
Nice.
So I started doing ribs.
Right.
Yeah, I started expanding. So you get a slab of ribs, you can get a whole chicken, you can get mac and cheese, green and potato salad. I'm just doing orders.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I would start in the morning. I put my tent up outside. I had to buy a commercial.
Oh, I saw that. Yes. I saw that. I did. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it lasted us the whole summer.
Nice.
That's why I would come in. That's how I was, contributing to my family. It was like, all right, honey, you got everything else. I make sure I take care of kids, and this, and the groceries. That was my put in during this whole pandemic stuff to keep us stable, right? But people start asking for more biscuits. All right, yeah, you get some more biscuits, and I figure out the cost. So, what's up with my biscuits?
Chef Boots will showcase his many biscuit recipes at his new biscuit making establishment, which he has plans to franchise.
So I create this concept of biscuit shop. Because I was doing some research and I saw everybody else doing Southern biscuits,
Right.
but us. But I saw everybody else doing these Southern biscuits. And I'm like, okay, all right, let me put my spin on it from a savory chef standpoint. And I just really dove into it.
It's a little scary when you because I'm thinking about you and you shared with me that, you know, your Harlem Biscuit Company is growing. You're going to be taking a new space,
Yes.
being able to do more in Harlem, which, you know, we want to congratulate you right now. It'll probably be open by the time this airs.
I've always wanted to like put my stamp on Harlem because everyone's doing all these other things, but I want to put my flavors in. Because I knew that it was different. I knew that I had a different way of looking at food and really celebrating my culture in Harlem.
What's going forward? We're expanding the Harlem Biscuit Company, which, you know, big ups to you for that. And
that's the thing too. So Harlem Biscuit Company, we have doing a little pop-up experience. It's going well. We were trying to just get our own space. This week, I had 2 spaces offered to me.
nice.
One of the spaces that I'm taking is owned by a black woman in Harlem. The whole block is owned by black businesses.
Well, first of all, those biscuits are gonna go nationwide.
Yeah.
All right, we know that. All right, we already know that. And number 2,
You wanna make it?
I'll make some. I'll make some
let's make
biscuits.
some.
That's what I was going to say. Number 2, you've been talking about these biscuits. Everybody's hungry for a biscuit.
Yeah, I made some good business.
We need to go and watch this man make some biscuits.
You get your hand dirty? You ready?
I'm ready, brother.
You bring your apron?
I brought an apron.
Let's do it.
I ain't the only one, just another one on the list. Not the only nigga on your lips.
All right, chef. What are you gonna make for us today?
Let's do some biscuits with some red-eye gravy.
Oh, nice. Sounds delicious.
good to you?
Yes,
Let me-
sounds great.
Let me get ready.
All right.
Because you know what? One thing I always do is I yell at my cooks too. I'm like, you're not ready to cook unless you got an apron on.
That's right. Well,
It puts you in your right mindset. You know what I mean?
Well, when you say we were gonna cook something, you know, I always got an apron in my back pocket, so you know, I just pull it out, so I'm ready to go.
Let's make some biscuits first.
All right, cool.
And we're gonna go down home, grandma style.
Grandma style.
All right, so
not
you ready to
not
get
the
there?
35-year-old grandma.
Not 35-year-old.
No,
the
okay.
old one.
We're going the old grandma.
So I was actually in Connecticut, and I was at a shop, one of those vintage shop. One of those we were antiquing, and I walked across these bowls, and I went, oh, biscuits.
Yeah.
so
That looks like
this is my
grandmama's.
biscuit.
That looks like grandmama's biscuit bowl. It does.
puts you in
It
there,
really
right?
does. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start off with that, and we're using some white with the flour. This is self-rising flour.
Yes.
So you know self-rising flour. You're a chef, but for everybody out there, self-rising flour already has the salt and the baking powder already into it. So all the active agents to make it rise up are inside of self-rising flour. If you use an all-purpose flour, you have to add your
Right.
baking powder and your salt to it.
That's
that was
right.
our
I got it.
purpose.
That's good. That's good. It's done.
Yeah, we're
That's
good.
right.
All right.
So we got this white lily flour.
Yep.
All right.
We're going to go ahead and weigh out. We're going to go 1450 grams. All right. Just go ahead and do this. Now this recipe does about 24 biscuits. So we're going to go ahead and make a bunch. We might need a bigger bowl.
We need some bigger bellies too.
Well, there's a bunch of y'all hanging around here.
Yeah, it's a lot of us.
So all right, so that's 1,000 there. Put that in there. And we're gonna go ahead and grab another 5. There we go. Oh, almost. Boom. Now, everything's in it, right? So we have to add all the other
We don't
stuff
have to-
to
right.
it. Boom. So we're good.
Okay, nice.
Right? Have all our flour in there. We're gonna make a little well. As much as we can in this tight bowl. Right? And we usually use buttermilk, but today I'm gonna try something different today.
So you're gonna do a little something different. You're gonna.
Yeah, let's try something a little different right now. We're gonna try something with a little almond milk.
Oh, nice,
All right?
nice.
So I
Okay.
got a quarter almond milk here. Let's put it on here. Let's tare it. Go back to 0. Now, like I told you, I always flavor my buttermilk, right? We're gonna do the same thing with almond milk as well. So we're gonna add some honey. to
Okay.
it. All right. So I have some Lamar Farms here. These honeys are actually from here in New Jersey. But I want to use this other little one. This is a nice little Clover honey.
Nice.
that we're going to use, and we're going to go.
I like a man that's got 3 or 4 different honeys in his kitchen.
Yeah,
Because I do.
and agave, and I got sorghum, I got molasses.
Yeah.
Wait,
You got it all. You got it all.
So let's go here and go 1950 and some honey. Oh yeah. Get it nice and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Well, that didn't go there. That's too much in that one. Let's go ahead and mix it in. My spoons are here. Actually, I like to use a fork
Yeah, to get that.
and I whisk it in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna go with this bigger one over here.
I love the way that looks. Can we get a
See
nice
the
shot of the
color?
way that? Yeah.
So that just shows that the honey is blended into there.
I love that.
All right. So
I want to taste that. Let me get a little spoon.
Right here. I used to have tasting spoons, but my wife was like, "You're using up too much plastic," so she bought me some bamboo ones.
I wanna
one
taste
time,
that.
and I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna use that here.
Damn, that's gonna be good.
It's gonna be nice." Huh?
That's gonna, man.
Yep.
All you need is some butter now.
Wait, we'll do that too.
Damn.
So we're gonna just start folding this in. This man, maybe I made too many for this bowl. I need to make a bigger bowl.
That's all right.
I'm gonna go a bigger bowl.
You got a bigger bowl?
Of course, I got a bigger bowl.
Oh, you got a.
Well, chef, I got a bigger bowl. Of course, I got a bigger bowl. Says butter.
Yep.
We gotta do some butter in there. My last batch didn't have any butter in it, brother. Can't have this without butter. And now this is frozen, too. And the reason why I'm gonna freeze it, I'm gonna do like a half a pound
Right.
of it. And we're gonna grate it into the flour.
My man.
Right? So, cheese grater. Let's get at it. Ooh.
Oh, we're grating butter. Nice.
I think I did this 15 times a day this morning. The other morning I woke up and my elbows was like.
Hey, we're getting
screaming
a good lesson, man. We're getting a good class. This is good stuff.
This is all butter.
That's right.
So that
And
was.
so instead of letting the butter come to room temperature, or slicing cold pieces and then cooling down the dough, you grate it frozen,
Yep.
and then it incorporates into the
What
dough.
it does is it creates those layers and stuff in there too. And then that butter melts and cooks and gets a nice little flakiness. That's why.
Now, is this a technique your grandmother used as well?
Yeah. Yep. Frozen butter. There's always butter in the freezer.
We're
Not a novice.
getting live biscuits from the man himself.
So what I do is it's just like a hook, right? Use my hands like a hook, and I'm feeding it in, and I'm turning my thing. My grandmother taught me this. It's one of her little tricks. You just kind of like, and all the little techniques and stuff. Everyone makes a well. They start putting the flour and stuff
Right,
into the egg
right.
white. They make a
Right.
pasta. The same thing, man. Same thing. Yeah, so I can feel it coming together. Now, white lily flour is really, really light. So your dough is really soft. It's something about that stuff. I buy it and I
People swear by white lily
Dude, I ship
for
it in.
biscuits.
I ship it in from the
Yeah.
south, bro. I'm telling you, I really do. My vendor brought it in specially for me. He goes, "Chef, you're gonna make sure you buy all this stuff up. He brought it in just for you." I said, "Don't worry. I go through about 400 pounds of flour a week.
Woo! That's
Yeah.
a lot of biscuits.
It's a lot, bro.
That's a lot of
It's
biscuits.
a lot.
That's a lot of
We're
biscuits.
doing it, man. It's really, really good. Now, see how it's coming together?
Looking good
Yeah. And what I'm doing is I'm just coming down.
until it starts to pull away a little bit, right?
Pulling away. It's a little wet. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to it, so I'm a little wet. But I'm gonna do that a lot on my board here.
Right.
But you can smell the honey in that
Yeah.
almond too, can't you?
I can still taste it, man. It's just delicious.
It's good stuff here. Just pour that out. I'm gonna knead some more flour into here. All right, so it comes to a nice little dough. Yeah.
Now, how do you know when your dough is just right to roll?
It has a nice. It's not sticking to my hands. It's not. It's. it's not wet anymore. It's nice and dry. See, I'm wet here. I need
Right.
more flour.
A little more flour.
I had too much liquid, and it's just all a feel.
Now, you know,
I'm just folding it in.
Harlem-
I'm not mixing it.
Harlem Biscuit Company has gotten so busy. Do you still have time to get up in the morning and make your wife biscuits before you go to work, or no?
You know what's funny thing is,
You still doing that?
I do, but I started making hers with masa.
With
She's
masa.
gluten free.
Ah,
So I said I didn't really like the gluten free flours.
right.
I started using corn masa. So I use corn masa and flour in my fried chicken blend because I didn't want to do the soft flour. So I
Right.
do a little bit. So it's all corn, so it's gluten
Okay.
free.
It gives it a little crispiness too. I'm
Great
thinking. Yeah.
crispiness. But the one thing that I made her biscuits with the corn flour with the masa, and it just came out just right. And they were gluten free. All the other gluten free flours had like chickpea flour and
Right.
You had to put xanthan gum in it and all that stuff. And the masa one just comes out just nice.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear you're still making biscuits for the missus. Biscuits for the missus.
All right, so you feel that? Feel that?
Yeah.
Feel it.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that butter's keeping the dough nice and cool, right?
You see the butter.
It's beautiful.
You see, look at that. That's gonna be all layers and stuff in there. All right. Some more flour on the bottom. On my board, and you see the butter because that's frozen. If you went on and you had it at room temp or just cold butter, it would blend into the flour.
Right.
It's still nice and soft, but you can see that butter in there.
So it's gonna-
it's gonna melt and become layers. Yeah, here somewhere. Yeah, so many drawers in there. I got too many.
It's
Too many drawers and too many
it's a-
cabinets.
it's a lab, man. A chef's kitchen is a chef's lab. You got things everywhere. I have stuff in every pocket in my
Look at
kitchen. Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Nice, yeah. Out of my kitchen. All right, so we're just gonna make some biscuits here. We're gonna get let's do this big one here. Put a little flour on it so it doesn't stick. And then boom. Here's a key part here too. You can't overwork
Right,
this part,
right.
Because then it gets tighter,
Right.
and you can feel it. You can really feel it. So I'm just gonna do it nice and light. Make us a few, 3 more biscuits here to fill this pan up. Pop them in, and then we're gonna make some gravy. Boom.
That looks fabulous. That looks fabulous.
Throw 'em in.
All right.
I'm sorry, we're cooking. We don't have movie magic. We're gonna pop them in, pull the refreshments out. We cooking.
All right. I smell the biscuits baking, my brother.
good.
They are delicious.
So we need something to go on them.
That's right.
Right.
What we got?
So in at my shop we have with a biscuit, in a biscuit, on a biscuit.
I love it.
So now we're gonna talk about what's going on a biscuit.
All right.
So we're gonna make a nice little twist on a red eye gravy and like a Creole sauce and a little shrimp. We're just gonna throw it all in there.
We're gonna do shrimp and biscuits? Oh man.
There's no rules, bro. Come on, what are you talking about?
I love it.
There's no rules.
All right.
So let's go ahead and start making our red eye gravy.
Okay.
Now you know the history of red eye gravy, right? So,
Well, tell me.
all right, so they would be on the trail. They're sitting there and they have their coffee and in the morning, and they've got their ham steaks and stuff on there, and all that fat from the ham steak was rendering off to that skillet. Right? I take the meat off, and they would like deglaze. They want to get all that seasoning stuff out there, so they hit it with their coffee.
Okay, because they already had the coffee.
They already had the coffee in their hand. So Cookie
Right.
on the trail went, He glazed it. Didn't know what he was
Right,
doing.
right.
Great.
I need some liquid. I'm gonna put some coffee
They
in it.
started putting they
Right.
started putting like tomatoes and stuff in there, and all that kind of stuff, and then pour that on top of
Right.
of their ham.
Yeah.
Made the ham more moist. Red eye gravy.
Boom.
All right, so
There it is.
That means it's super simple.
Right.
And what we're gonna do.
But sounds good, right?
Oh, sounds amazing. Bacon, like ham, fat.
Right.
And like a coffee.
And coffee.
Like tomato.
Yeah. Just add that little bitterness in the back of the tongue.
And we'll have the same thing too, like with like shrimp and grits. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why we're throwing some shrimp in here, because they were just like getting rations of their grits, fishing, picking up shrimp off while they're going out fishing, and it's called breakfast shrimp. So you're like,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Yeah, is it-
Breakfast shrimp. Yep.
And now, what do you smoke with?
I like to use a blend of hickory and apple.
Ah, okay.
That's my go-to blend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm an oak person.
Oak, straight oak?
hickory.
Mhm,
Mostly,
oak and
mostly
hickory?
just oak, hickory. I'm kind of a purist.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with oak is it doesn't have like that really strong smoke, so it's more palatable for ladies. So like because sometimes you can over smoke with hickory or mesquite, you get that numb, like you had a cigar, you get that numbness in your mouth.
What you just said is important that a lot of people don't realize. Over smoke.
Over smoke.
In Kansas City, we treat smoke like a seasoning. Everything is smoked, but it's a seasoning. Smoke is not. You're not supposed to eat barbecue and taste a forest fire.
Right.
You're supposed to taste the seasoning. You're supposed to taste the meat. You're supposed to taste the smoke.
Where that fire goes on and it starts caramelizing that brown
Right,
sugar stuff.
right.
And it's added. You get that nice little bark and stuff there, so you bite it and you get that it's like a whiff. Where you get it, where it's like it's
Right.
smoky. But when your lips turn numb, you oversmoke. Out of my kitchen. Get out of my kitchen.
That's the dog trying to eat.
Sorry, I the dog around. Out of my kitchen. But that's what we're trying to do with it. It's a balance and stuff there. You get the right rub, get nice caramelization. The thing is that with Memphis, you just eat it just like that. But in Kansas City, you guys put sauce on it and then you eat it. So you guys. So when I say from what I know is when you try to put sauce on it, you kind of cover your mistakes.
No. See, this is the re-education. This is the re-education part of the program. The reason why Kansas City barbecue is considered the best barbecue on the planet, and I know it's hard to hear, but the reason is because we pay just as much attention to the sauce as we do to the meat.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody say that. I'm gonna give that one to you.
That's the key.
That was good.
That's the key.
That was good.
Yeah, that's right. And if you realize a lot of other places, is that mine?
No, that's
or
mine.
yours?
That's mine.
Oh, okay.
Cheers to that.
All right, cheers to that.
That was a good one.
Well, now you know.
First Kansas City, I will give you some props on that one.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I
That was
appreciate
really
it.
good.
All right. See?
That's it. Okay, let's get off barbecue. That's a whole other.
We both barbecue. So today we're making biscuits, but we can barbecue. All right. Yeah, don't burn those biscuits.
Oh my God!
Oh.
See that, guys, look at that. And you know what the funny thing is?
They smell delicious, man. Do we have some butter ready to go on those biscuits? Oh, look at that.
You really, you can smell that almond milk as soon as it popped out.
Well, you lifted the top off, and I saw that fluffiness inside.
Oh my goodness, bro! They're almost done.
It's delicious.
Let's get that right here. See those? Oh my goodness!
Look at that.
Well, those are just like 2 more minutes.
All right, red eye
Let's make
gravy.
the sauce. So we got that going on. Now, I'm from California, and my grandmother always had Farmer John sausage. I haven't had a Farmer John sausage in years. I was at the Dollar Tree getting Easter candy,
Right.
and I saw these in the freezer, and I bought like 20.
I gotta get some.
Because I don't know if it was like Southern thing or.
You see, you said I was at the Dollar Tree
It was my Easter
and I had
candy.
to buy Easter candy.
Smell it. You see that? And look how fast that was. 450 degrees, bro.
And that almond milk has that little bit of sweetness in there.
Yeah.
That's
And then we add the honey to it
Yes.
as well to really just like bring it all around, bring it home.
I'm ready for some butter, brother.
Oh man, those are beautiful. Those are beautiful.
Nice.
Let me just go ahead and
Yeah.
put those to the side. Let's go ahead. We got our oil going right here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna brown off our sausage in there. Yes, and there leaks. That's how you do it.
That's all right.
I love Farmer John sausage.
I mean, this is authentic and rustic the way you make it.
Go ahead and I'm gonna brown the sausage. I'm gonna put a little olive oil inside of here. But I'm gonna also let all that fat of the sausage render off in here as well. Because everything's good with bacon fat and sausage fat and pork and
I know I speak for the crew. We are so hungry right now.
Why not? Why not put some little bacon fat in there? Why not?
Ooh,
It's here.
it's here.
Come on, why not?
My mama would be
There's
proud.
rules. There's rules.
That's right. Smells wonderful.
But we haven't seasoned it yet.
Yeah, and it just, but it,
It's all the naturalness of it.
Yeah.
It's the bacon fat, the sausage,
Right.
the corn, the
Right.
peppers, the onions.
Right.
It's all the natural
Exactly.
stuff. Now we can season it.
yep.
So I have a little blend. We talked earlier about, I've been doing the same blend since '92. And it's just my essence. So we're gonna put a little of that in there. And I put that in now so the heat activates it. You know, people always
Yeah.
put place and rub them.
Right.
I put those in there so it the heat activates the spice.
Yep. I like to
Now
season.
smell it.
Yeah, I like to season that way too.
Oh man.
You know, and that's like an important part in a lot of Middle Eastern cooking too.
Yes.
It's to saute your spices.
Yeah. So now we're doing a red-eye gravy. Let's go and add some coffee.
We got to put some coffee.
Yeah. So here's a little French press here, some coffee. Nice and strong. Crank the fire up a little bit more.
Sounds good too. Sounds good. Smells good.
Let that simmer for a second. Yeah. And then I have a little shrimp stock here.
I see.
Just gonna pour a little of that in there, just because we're putting shrimp in it. Yeah. Let's bring that to a boil. Just like all that fat, and we got the spices, we got the vegetables. It's just all these things that are just married together. And the funny thing about it, we haven't tasted it yet.
I've been tasting. I've been tasting it since we started cooking it.
So
I'm just getting everything. Then we have some nice marinellis.
Marinelli's. Because I want to put some tomatoes and stuff in there, and then I want to show that you can do something with tomato. My mother always had, a jar of spaghetti sauce in the cupboards.
Nice.
This was always doctor that up.
That's a nice touch, and then you can give it a little consistency too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it can bring it up a little bit more. Just give it some creaminess. Give it nice and thick. Or we could add, put some little more roux or something in there.
Well, I think the tomato sauce is probably going to make a nice backdrop.
Really,
Yeah.
really good. Oh my goodness. I think that we got something here. Let's just go ahead and taste this here now. Let's see where we're at.
Is it good? You're not gonna let me taste it, man? You're not gonna let me taste it?
Oh, wow. There you go, Jeff. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead and do that. But you taste that coffee. That coffee's really full.
Yep.
Yeah?
It's so good.
That's fun, right?
That spice is coming through too. This is what I call hooked up.
There's no rules.
This is delicious. Everything in here is delicious. And then you threw the kale in. We got a little color in there. We got some vegetable. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Chef Melvin Boots Johnson. Absolutely wonderful. I mean it.
Good stuff.
Man, this was absolutely wonderful. I think the crew would like to get in here. Hey Paul, guys, come on in. Come get some of this, man.
Man,
We got a plate for you.
thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Chef Melvin here, man. I can't stop eating. I would have called you sooner.
The sun is rising, feel the warmth on my face. There's a lot to do now, but there ain't no way. I sip my coffee, I'm feeling fine. No need to work yet. I'm gonna take my
It's not like
It's
like a
a
biscuit
brand
with
new day.
butter on it. It's
Gotta
great.
take it on my way.
It's a dish.
Gotta take it on
dish.
my way. It's a brand new day. Gotta take it on my way.
Urban Chef.